Hello, fellow fans. I'm Mark, and united with me is my co host. He's the hostess with the mostest, the man who's worthy to carry the shield of United We Fan. It's Bryan. What up, Bryan?
You say hostess. I say Twinkie or Ding Dong.
Welcome, everyone, to UWF on the UWF channel. On the last episode, Bryan and I united to discuss the music of Walt Disney World. Did you turn your volumes up to 11? Because I sure did. It was an exciting episode. On this one, we got a special episode coming your way as we rate and review Captain America Brave New World with spoilers, and we're going to start it off with non-spoilers, so fear not. Did Bryan and I like it, or did this one fly too high only to fall? We'll decide. UWF starts now.
All right, let's do this one last time.
Truth is, I am Iron Man.
Football is life.
I solemnly swear that I am up to no good.
X never, ever marks the spot.
Is Star Wars the one with the little wizard boy?
This is the way.
Avengers! Assemble.
Ah, chills. Literal chills.
Hello, fans. Hello, Bryan. Thank you all for uniting with us as we talk about all things fandom. Please give us a rate or review wherever you listen so we can out with more fans out there on the UWF network. Follow UWF on Facebook, Instagram, X, Twitter, YouTube, and especially Discord to join in on UWF fan discussions and get Discord benefits. Bryan, you and I, the day of this recording, saw a Marvel movie. Sadly, it was not together. I miss us laughing together at Deadpool and Wolverine, sharing popcorn, throwing at each other, giggling, but that's fine.
You and I remember that day very differently.
But yes, Captain America Brave New World. Beforehand, they did show previews. I don't know if I'm sure they did in yours. Previews for Fantastic Four and the Thunderbolts. Thoughts?
I mean, I've watched the Fantastic Four trailer so many times at this point.
Do you think of the bear or no?
Oh yeah, I think everybody does, right? Like that's definitely Richie, and there's been many bear inspired posters and memes and reels and all kinds of stuff. No, like I'm very excited about Fantastic Four. Like the aspect ratio change that they do. Like Matt Shakman, who did WandaVision, is directing Fantastic Four. Like I think his
perfect choice.
Yeah, I think he's a great choice. I find Red Guardian much more palatable and funny than you do. So
I love Red Guardian.
I thought you got annoyed by his constant joke making.
No. I was disappointed by the Red Guardian Winter Soldier episode on What If.
Is that all it was? Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like I'm cautiously optimistic for Thunderbolts. I can see it not doing well. But if it's done properly, then I'm excited. But we'll see what effects Captain America Brave New World might have on where the Thunderbolts goes. So we can talk about that later.
What is the Bryan theory on the asterisk in the title?
Dark Avengers. Like I just think the name Thunderbolts is Dark Avengers. Like in the comic books, Thunderbolts is a direct reference to Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross. He has nothing to do with the creation of this team.
No. Yeah.
I mean, they didn't even try to force that in anywhere. So I don't think that's a spoiler. So I mean, they're the Dark Avengers.
I don't know if we did this, but I'm going to anyways. Rank which one you are excited for in order of Fantastic Four, Superman, and the Thunderbolts.
Oh, I was expecting Jurassic Park to be the other one where they're all coming out in July.
Do you want me to throw Jurassic Park in there?
I mean, you can. That's fine.
Okay, I'll throw Jurassic Park in there.
I think Jurassic Park's going to be a mess.
I think they realize they need to do something new, and they're going to lean into that now.
I hope it's at least R-rated, where it just goes crazy, gory, and violent from a dinosaur standpoint.
I do have one friend who jokingly said to me that the new Jurassic Park looks like the shark movie Deep Blue Sea, where they genetically mutated sharks for medical reasons, and then they kind of turned into monster sharks. And of course, there's genetically engineered, even more so, dinosaurs
I was gonna say
for
that's
medical
also the
reasons,
plot point of every single Jurassic Park movie.
or sci-fi movie. Yeah.
Fantastic Four, number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. Then number 5 would be Superman. Thunderbolts, then Superman ahead of the Thunderbolts. And then Jurassic Park.
Yeah, same order. Fantastic Four, Superman, Thunderbolts.
I thought Superman might beat Fantastic Four for you. That's interesting.
I'm excited for both of them. I will, whatever. I'll be
Yeah, it's
there
gonna be a
opening
good
day
2
either
weeks.
way. So, Brian, we're talking about previews. I still have not seen the One Mac and Me preview. I don't even know the name of it still.
The Legend
That
of
you-
Ochi or whatever. I haven't seen that. I haven't seen that trailer in a while.
Also, this isn't a hot take. I don't think it's a grind my gear. They showed a new preview for
Feeling hot, hot, hot.
Just in case.
I mean, I am feeling hot, hot, hot. Listeners, you've heard me on my rants about the quote unquote live action Lion King and my frustrations with that. And then they made the second one, which at least it was an original story. But anyways, How to Train Your Dragon. I know we've said this before, but they showed a preview of it before it. And then even the writer and the filmmaker said they changed very little of the script from the animated movie. I know I've seen people joking that it's just essentially an advertisement for the new Universal Epic Universe and a cash grab. I'm really upset because I love How to Train Your Dragon, but that really annoys me that they haven't changed anything.
I don't think it's a cash grab that's going to work. I don't see this movie being overly successful.
You don't see it being a Lion King?
1.6 billion? No way.
No?
How to Train Your Dragon's not near as beloved as The Lion King by the general public. That's part of it. It's also only 10 years old or 12 years old. Lion King was 25 almost. It doesn't make any sense. But like ultimately it comes down to people don't respect animated film as film. I mean, that's all. That's really all that it is. Which is annoying.
Yep. That's true. I mean, that's why we're getting a Moana remake less than 5 years after.
Yeah, gross. No, not 5 years. I mean, it's almost 10 now. Moana came out in 2016. Yeah, no, I'm with you. Like it's too fast.
Cheese and crackers. All right. Well, listeners, this episode we are doing a non-spoiler review.
Wait, we got to poke fun at the Kansas City Chiefs.
Oh, you want to talk some Super Bowl? Is it too late, listeners? Whatever. We're here for it. Let's do it. Brian, did you watch it?
Of course I watched it. That was an butt kicking of epic proportion.
To quote Maximus Decimus Meridius Aluminius, Dumbledorius, were you not entertained?
I had a smile on my face from the opening kickoff. Because they just looked so sad the entire time. It was great. I hate that team. That was so great.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, the ultimate end game is Philly's happy, so that's kind of a bummer. But,
yeah,
I mean, that team, they just got dismantled at every point. It was insane.
I think the Philly celebration at Magic Kingdom the next day was the only time Philly fans celebrated and nothing was destroyed. So, I watched it on my ESPN app, so I would just check the scores here and there every quarter. I was so happy.
Oh, you didn't even watch the game? Yeah, no, it was insane.
So the replays that I saw, they looked exhausted.
I just love the armchair quarterbacks of people saying the next day he threw for 254 yards and he had 3 touchdowns and 2 interceptions and a fumble. Like, he didn't play that bad. That was the worst Patrick Mahomes has ever played in his entire life.
And I think people need to say that's okay. These guys have been going long. It's kind of like when LeBron used to go on his runs and he would get tired in the playoffs. It's okay that Mahomes and them got tired and they had a bad Super Bowl performance.
They had 20. They had 23 yards at halftime, and the Eagles had 24 points.
Yeah, they'll be back. I think for anyone who doesn't think they'll be in another,
shut your pie hole.
they'll be back. They're going to be in at least another one.
Let them implode.
So, I do listen to New Heights, the Kelsey podcast. I love Jason Kelsey. Travis, he didn't say he was retiring, but he's just got a lot to mull over. But man, he looked exhausted. So don't blame him. But did you have any favorite commercials? I actually had two. So
I can't even say I remember a single one.
the Seal Mountain Dew one.
Yeah, that one was all right.
Seal to Seal. And then
how many times has he been pitched Seal to Seal and he finally said yes?
It was disturbing, but I couldn't stop watching it. And then you know me, I don't like Stitch. Sorry, friends. But the Stitch commercial where he's running on the field is hilarious. So, oh, they got him. Nope, he's driving a golf cart.
Looking like Marshawn Lynch.
Yeah.
No, that one was okay. The Pringles one with the flying mustaches was, I guess, kind of memorable.
Yeah.
I was surprised at the lack of movie trailers. Like, there was Happy Gilmore 2 stuff, like, all the way leading up to the game. Adam Sandler was at the game. We didn't get anything.
Yeah.
I was surprised.
Well, also co-star Travis Kelsey. He's in the movie as well.
Right. Yep. I don't know. Like, I saw a TikTok of them filming the final scene, so I kind of know how the movie ends, and I'm kind of excited about it.
Oh, okay. All right. Halftime show. The country is very divided on it. I don't remember the last halftime show that everyone loved, so it kind of comes with it. But yeah,
I don't know. Like, I like Kendrick Lamar, but like Super Bowl halftime show, man, play the hits. Instead, he used it to just bury Drake again, which is entertaining in its own right.
Yeah. I kind of dig that. You know, that is a chance for the world to see you. So yeah, play the hits. I really liked how the Dre and Eminem one did that. Of course, Prince. Man, that halftime show with Prince was great. So
good morning.
Yeah.
I'm Wilfred Brimley, and I'd like to talk to you for a few minutes about diabetes.
I think young people like Prince.
Do they? I don't think young people know who Prince is.
I don't think anyone. I think anyone who says they like the movie Purple Rain hasn't actually seen the movie Purple Rain. That's a Prince movie for everyone out there.
Yeah, I'm sure that's true. I don't know how many people, if they have heard of Prince, they haven't even heard of that movie.
I mean, you might have heard his songs if you've seen the Michael Keaton Batman movie. Maybe that's how they'll know him. No, they'll know him from the New Girl episode.
They also don't watch the Michael Keaton Batman films, man. I hate to tell you, we're old.
They watch New Girl.
Maybe.
Are you telling me the youths don't watch New Girl?
Correct. My kids actually just finished it, though.
They watch Vanderpump and Selling Sunset, stuff like that.
Anyway, Captain America 4.
Sorry, yes. Super Bowl halftime show, entertaining, not the best. Yay for the outcome. Congratulations to Jalen Hurts. Well-deserved MVP. And Bryan, do you have any real quick early predictions for the Super Bowl next year?
No, I just hate the logo. It's got about 84 different colors. It's the ugliest thing I've ever seen in my life.
That's true. Well, let's find out if Captain America Brave New World was the ugliest movie Bryan has seen recently. Like I said, fear not, everyone. We are going to do non-spoiler quick reviews, so don't feel the need to skip. We will give you a very loud warning when we are getting into spoiler territory. Bryan, Captain America Brave New World. Where do you rank it in the Captain America movies?
4th.
Yeah. So, I guess question for you. The Falcon and the Winter Soldier series is not high on your list. I thoroughly enjoy it, did a rewatch. did you like the movie more than the show?
They're hard to compare. I do think this would be a difficult show or movie without the show. Especially as it relates to Isaiah Bradley.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Okay.
Without getting spoilery, I don't know what else to say there. They're hard to compare. I think I like the show better because I like Zemo.
Wow. I mean, that's kind of telling a lot right there. For everyone out there, if you go to the movie theaters, they have specialty popcorn buckets and drink cups. I did buy the Shield popcorn bucket. And then, actually, did you see Disneyland? They have a Captain America Shield sipper cup that you can even wear on your back.
Like a camelback?
It's got like the backpack straps and it's the shield and it's got like a little flip up drinky thing on the back.
Doesn't have a 18-inch straw.
Oh,
You could bite
sure
down.
You could.
That'd be sweet.
Yeah. So if we have any listeners going to Disneyland soon and I'm maybe their favorite co-host of the show, or they just feel really bad for me because I'm not their favorite, think of me.
If I'm your favorite, send it to me and then I'll send it to Mark.
Thank you. Yeah, let's do that. All right. So Captain America, Brave New World. Bryan, let's hear your quick thoughts on it.
Non-spoiler version.
Yes.
It was okay. I have some criticisms of it. Pretty heavy criticisms. If I'm going to criticize Fox movies for being, or the Sony movies for being ADR struggling and stuff like that, there was a handful of times in this movie where I was really taken out of it. The movie felt far too rehearsed at points. And I'll talk about that more in a spoiler fashion. Like, I mean, there was nothing in the film that surprised me. There was one plot point we already didn't know. And is it really that big a deal? Probably not. It was like, I like Sam. So ultimately I enjoyed the film. I love seeing the Shield. They had a couple of good slow-mo shots. But overall, I'm not high on it. I would say I'd rather watch it than Multiverse of Madness, however.
Yeah. I enjoyed it for the most part. Big Captain America fan. I definitely enjoyed it more than like the most recent Venom movies, Sony movies. Enjoyed it. I had less problems with it than Multiverse of Madness, Thor, Love and Thunder, Quantumania. I had less problems with that. There were definitely some changes in it from previous Marvel movies that I was good with. My thing was, if you watch the preview, you've essentially watched the movie. So we'll get into that more later. But I liked it. I will see it again. I'll watch it again. It has some really strong points. But where do I rank it? It's not in the top 10, but it's also not in the bottom 10 for me. So we
might have to re-rank the entire MCU if it's not in your bottom 10. I mean, at first glance right now, I would probably put it bottom 10.
I'd have to actually think about it. I know it's not bottom 5. But then again, I'm the guy who defends Thor: The Dark World and The Incredible Hulk, which I think people need to go back.
The Incredible Hulk 2. I mean, that's what this film is.
Yeah. People need to go watch The Incredible Hulk. That movie has aged very well, and I think people were too hard on it for the longest time. So, Bryan, so you enjoyed it, but it has problems?
Sure.
Would you recommend people go see it in theaters?
Yeah. I mean, it's an MCU film. Like, there's always at least something worth seeing. But if you missed it, like I mean, Eternals is better. There was some redeeming aspects to it. But when we can talk spoilers, like, I'm gonna come across overly negative. I'll try to call out as much as I liked, but there's a few things that really just stood out to me that I just didn't enjoy.
Do you think it is going to be Craven came out this year, right?
Yes.
Do you think this movie is going to be the second worst comic book movie this year?
I hope so.
Wow.
What else do
okay.
we have? What else do we have coming? We have Superman, we have Thunderbolts, we have Fantastic
Four.
Four. Is there
Do we have
anything
any-
else? I don't think there is. So yes, I
No,
hope so.
Sony gave up. Yeah. All right. Well, I enjoyed it, but like I said, it is flawed. But we're gonna leave the safe seas of non-spoilers and enter the rough territory of spoiler land, so that Brian can get out all of his thoughts and maybe we can help him see a brighter day, but it doesn't sound like it. So, listeners, if you haven't seen the movie or if you don't care about spoilers, this is where you might want to turn off or turn the volume up, whatever you want to do. But spoiler alert, 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 spoiler alert.
Well, I panicked, but then I handled it.
So good. I love that guy. Um, Real quick, I'll get into this. We don't have the 5 minute Marvel Studios intro, which actually made me really happy that it was not in the beginning of this movie.
You're right. It wasn't.
No. I think Marvel burned me out by putting that in front of all of their TV shows for the longest time.
They know that.
And I was irritated by it. So, and part of me kind of wishes it would have maybe ended or with no, not ended with anything. Anyways, it started off very strong with me. I was happy that they did not include that.
I didn't process that it wasn't there. You're right, though. It was not there.
True.
I guess I didn't miss it, but it should be there. Like, it should be there. I mean, I get that they shouldn't have maybe done it in front of the television shows, but it should be there for films. It's why like Rogue One needs a scroll. Like Star Wars films needs a scroll. Can I start at the end?
I love the old school approach when it used to be the comic book pages that were themed to the movie that we were about to watch.
Can I start at the end?
Sure. It's spoiler. Go for it.
If you're gonna keep releasing post-credit scenes that don't pay off, is the new strategy just give you the weakest post-credit scene we've ever seen in our entire lives?
I literally left it going, all right, so they know they keep promising stuff in post-credit scenes and don't ever come through. So let's just be vague as hell and not have any meaning to it.
I'm really smart. The multiverse exists. Doom is coming. Like, they didn't even drop a Doom word. Like,
no.
There was nothing. That was the weakest post-credit scene we've ever gotten. And the fact that like it wasn't mid-credit, that it was a true post-credit.
Yeah.
Massive bummer.
That could have been heck, that could be Doom. It could be Kang the Conqueror. It could be.
Well, I think Kang's over, but yeah,
I know, but
you're right though. It was so open-ended.
It was so vague that it could have been anyone. But I agree. I honestly think that was a last-minute decision. I feel like
it almost there almost had to be something else that they decided to pull, like, because that really felt like a mid-credit, like after the title card.
I would have liked maybe a clip leading into the Thunderbolts, something with Bucky or something.
Yeah, so let's start with the positives. I was happy to see Bucky, very happy to see Bucky. I didn't expect to see Bucky. I didn't expect to see Bucky. The fact that Bucky's running for Congress is the only plot point we didn't know about this film. How
sad it was. Yeah.
Does it matter? Probably a little bit for Thunderbolts. But he looked like he had the lapel pin and everything. You're like, Bucky's running for Congress.
Well, I know some people have spotted that in the Thunderbolts preview. So
I didn't process that in the Thunderbolts trailer, but I've only watched Thunderbolts trailer twice. I watched it day of release and then today before the movie. So, I love the Wheaties poster, by the way, for Thunderbolts. it was great to see Bucky, but we're doing something similar that I crap on Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness for. If we're going on this journey throughout a television show, and then we're gonna rehash it all over again, where Sam feels like he should have never been given the shield. And like, I'm glad we didn't spend a lot of time on that. It was really just kind of Bucky reassuring him. But Bucky's had to reassure Sam of that exact fact at least 5 times now. So I just don't understand that why Torres getting shot down by making a mistake all of a sudden made Sam feel unworthy to have received, like, should have taken the serum, whatever. Like, he should take the serum, in my opinion. But that's neither here nor there. I mean, the fact that he's able to use his jet propulsion and Red Wing and everything to kind of make up for his lack of a serum is kind of cool. It was good to see Red Wing again, RIP potentially. But yeah, so anyway, that's where I'm coming from with Bucky. That was my favorite moment of the film.
I didn't read it as he was full on questioning if he should be Captain America. Like, that didn't really hold me up. I see it now. But it was more so, I think they should have done a better job instead of having him questioning, should he have taken the serum, and having that have been the more question so that he could, in his mind, possibly be a better Captain America.
Well, and I think that scene with Bucky I think it was kind of both, right? Like, I think he does question, should he be Captain America and should he have taken the serum? Like, that is what that scene's kind of ultimately about.
Yeah. I mean, I feel him when he got his butt kicked towards the end there, and he's like, oh, Bucky, I should have taken it. Man, that's me every morning. I get out of bed and my back just cracks and the knees hurt and all that. I'm just like, man, I should have taken the super soldier serum.
What are some other positives?
His white suit looked great. Then of course they went ahead and changed it to a more blue suit.
The helmet with the white suit's kind of goofy.
Yeah.
The white suit's cool. The fact that it could be scratched was odd.
I thought they were gonna say, "Oh, they got knives of vibranium or of antimantium, and that's how it got scratched or something." Because I thought, yeah,
using the Celestial Island as the way to introduce adamantium into the MCU is a stroke of genius. I think that's really cool. I like that. I thought that the war with Japan was interesting. I did not catch on to the brainwashing being through light flashing. That was a neat little twist.
I think the side war plot was my problem with the movie. Is too many plot points were shallow, and I think that's from the reshoots and the rewrites.
There was 6 half-baked ideas that made this film.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, is my criticism of Falcon and Winter Soldier as well.
Well, that one just had a horrible villain, which to this one, they undersold the villain and the main threat.
The leader was good.
He looked great. I love how they did it, but
he looked creepy.
One gripe I have, when he went to the one army base to stop Sam's friend, that didn't need to be there, because my first thought was, how did he end up there? I know he could figure out a way. Oh, okay, he just left and now he's back in Washington. I wish they just would have cut that scene and had him say, yep, your friend's dead. Like, save that time. That's the other thing. The movie is short. They could have gone another 15, 20 minutes to explain more things.
You know why it's short? That thing's edited like an early episode of United We Fan. Taking out every single breath. Like, the dialogue is, it seems like it was written by AI. Like, the dialogue, it seemed like they were trying to make every single line the line. You know what I mean? Like, every single piece of dialogue had to be the most important thing that was ever said. Captain America 4, welcome to exposition. That's what I felt like. This movie was talking at you. It wasn't talking. It's show me, don't tell me, man. Like, this movie was doing so much talking. I mean, Liv Tyler was cool. That was welcome back, Liv Tyler.
That's just it. It was only 2 seconds. I definitely wanted more.
Well, she also probably didn't want to do more. So
True. Uh, I wish the prison scene between Sam and Isaiah would have been a little heavier and longer. And I felt like that was a great moment that they just missed.
Also,
So
the guard that said he would be court-martialed for allowing Sam to like go talk to Isaiah
yeah.
he's the same dude that shot the guys in prison cell
Yes.
15, but then he opened the door for Isaiah at the end. I swear it was the same guy.
No, it was a different guy.
I don't know. That annoyed me. The Isaiah storyline, again, I feel like it could have been deeper. And if you really like the Isaiah storyline, like the Falcon and Winter Soldier, that is for you. But it was just everything was just glossed over. Like Carl Lumley as Isaiah Bradley is really good.
Yeah.
And I don't know what
scene?
more.
Yeah.
He looked a little silly running through the streets.
Okay, thank you. I was like, he's not running like a super soldier. I know he's got some age on him, but he's running like.
He looked like Kendrick Lamar walking across the stage smiling.
Stop! No, he looked
like
Carl
the alien.
Lumley.
He looked like the alien in Signs.
He looked like Carl Lumley running in really bad shoes.
Yeah, I mean, every cool thing we've seen, like I thought the Red Hulk I thought President Ross turning into the Red Hulk in front of the White House was going to be in the middle of the film. Like we had the White House fight and we had the cherry blossom fight, and that was it, man. Like that.
That's why I said if you watched the preview, and here's a pro and a con. This movie does not have a big spoiler in it. It doesn't.
Not at all.
Quantum Mania, yeah, but more okay. Multiverse of Madness. Oh yeah, there was definitely some surprises in there. The council and all that. This one said we're not going to do that formula. We're not going to have any surprises, which is great. I'm glad you didn't do that gimmicky thing. Problem is, everything is in the trailer.
They didn't even tease the future. They didn't even tell you who the president was.
Yeah.
Like, we're going to find that out in Thunderbolts probably. Like, they said he gave up the office, but, like, who's the president? Like, who was his vice president?
I did love Harrison Ford. I felt like he did not just mail this one in. He actually went for this role, and I think Shrinking helped him with it because his emotional scenes where he's torn up about his daughter, I really felt him in this movie.
Yeah, Harrison Ford was good. I don't know if the casual MCU fan is making the connection as to who Thunderbolt Ross truly is. Like, I don't think they're totally getting it. I was shocked at the throwback scene to a mustachioed General Ross who looked kind of like William Hurt. Like, that was really interesting. I genuinely do not believe there was enough context for people to know to put two and two together that it's the same guy. Like, I don't think people are going to get it, which is fine. Like, ultimately it probably doesn't matter. Black Widow's the last time we saw him. We had inklings that he was turning into Red Hulk back then. Like, now we know kind of what he was doing in the pardon and everything else that came with it. I thought the leader was good. The fact that it wasn't there. Giancarlo Esposito, I love you, man. What a waste. He was in 3 scenes. Like,
it wasn't as bad of a waste as Christian Bale as Gore the God Butcher, but his fight scene though with Sam Wilson, that almost felt borderline like rated R good action though.
You think? I think this from dialogue to the fight scenes, everything in this movie felt too rehearsed for me. Like, the dialogue they weren't even pausing to take a breath. They weren't processing what the other person was saying to them. They already knew what they wanted to say back without even really listening to what they were saying. But then even the fight scenes just felt too choreographed for me. Like, it was just not gritty enough. Not Captain America.
Well, I mean, it's a new Cap, so we got to get used to new fight style. But I thought Sidewinder, they recast. I feel bad. I forgot the actor's original name. He was a wrestler. He was supposed to be Sidewinder, and they replaced him with.
I thought Sidewinder was an added character when they did the reshoots. Okay.
Oh, I thought they replaced him, but either way,
He got cut from the film. Yeah.
you have Giancarlo, and you, man, if you don't bring him back for something better,
You keep him alive for a reason. Seth Rollins was the actor that was originally in Captain America: Brave New World, but he was removed because of script changes and reshoots. So whether he was Sidewinder or not, it's never officially confirmed. But yeah, like I wanted more Serpent Society stuff. We didn't deal with that much at all.
I mean, we almost got that, but then we got Civil War instead, that movie. I thought this was going to actually be kind of remnants of that script.
Well, I don't think Serpent Society was ever real. Like I think that was just an
They-
all okey doke because they announced Serpent Society and then at the end of that same meeting, Feige changed it to Civil War.
From what I've read, they had two scripts. One if Robert Downey Jr. said yes,
Okay,
and then one if he said no.
okay, that would make sense. So
So
Serpent Society is interesting, especially in the comic books. Like it's super interesting. Like
yeah,
Giancarlo Esposito better be setting up for like Gus Fring in the MCU because that was just a bummer. Like he literally had 3 scenes.
yeah. I mean, I liked their little small town fight in the middle of the street. Apparently, though, nobody else lives in that town. And then
Scared the
all right.
crap out of me, dude. Sam turned that corner and he just getting blasted. That was a bit of a jump scare for me.
There went that nice truck. I'm glad Sam's financial situation is working better from the Falcon the Winter Soldier. Things were hard, but honestly, the only performance that just ruined whatever flow I had. And we on the show are nice. I'm going to be nice. I think Shiara Haas was not well casted for Ruth Batsaroff. That was a fun fact that she's a former Black Widow.
See, I think that's why she's so unassuming and so tiny. Like that you like, yeah, no, like she was okay.
Mind that I think she was miscast. I think that's the nice way I'm going to put it. She had really strong performances happening around her, and she just did not carry the weight. Like, the movie Black Widow, you got Scarlett Johansson and Florence. And they held their own and exceeded whoever was around them. Like, she didn't quite bring the right gloves for a heavyweight battle with the performances happening around her. And also, I felt like the character was very thinly written, so that didn't help her either. So
maybe it was just I expected her to be in on it, and therefore wasn't. That I was mildly surprised. Like I thought she was okay. I would push back on you saying that the performances around her were strong because I don't think there was any extremely strong performances in this film.
That was my nice way of just
that's fair.
Trying
that's
to
fair.
say, yeah, her.
She being a former Black Widow is interesting. Joaquin Torres.
Yeah.
I like him in the show. He was just trying way too. He does not have the je ne sais quoi to be a comedian. Like he just tried way too hard to be Scott Lang, and it just was not landing with me.
He really wanted to meet Ant-Man.
I know, but man, like it just was not landing with me. And again, it comes back to the way this dialogue was written, the way this film was edited. There was no time to process what was being said because there was already the next line of dialogue was next, and they were just trying to be that. This is the line on the poster, and every single line was trying to be so powerful and so moving, and it's just we didn't have any real world conversation.
Well, you got 5 writers. That's probably not a good sign.
Woof.
Yeah, I think Danny Ramirez, I think it was just a case of bad writing, and they just said, dude, just do what you did on the show, which was not correct.
And it also wasn't a lot on the show. He was barely in the show.
Yeah, that's just it. He did just fine.
There was the Falcon tease in the show, but that was the whole purpose of him being there. Like he was fine as Falcon. Like I think he fits that role a little bit. I was really taken out of it a bit when at the end when he talks about how Sam doesn't let anybody down, and like Sam's like a motivational guy, like that's his thing. He's a counselor, right? Like instead of saying, yeah, like I don't fail because I can't stand the thought of letting anybody down, it's like, dude, no, Sam would say, I fail all the time, man. What are you talking about? Like his entire response was, yeah, I don't do it because there's just so much pressure. Like it didn't make any, like Sam's response, Sam's a lot more self-aware than that. Like, and Danny Ramirez, or what's his name? Joaquin Torres was like, hey man, like you never fail. Like Sam's response would be, I fail all the time, dude. Like I constantly feel like a failure, because we see those sides of Sam where he was talking to Bucky about coming up short in certain circumstances. And I feel like he just wasn't being real with Joaquin Torres there, and it didn't make any sense to me.
My one thing, I agree with all that. My one thing also was, when I was looking up to the Avengers, I was looking up to you.
He's an Avenger.
But my thing is, how young were you, and how young are you now? Because my thing is, Sam went from, all right, he took down Shield and then was kind of in the shadows. Then he went on the run with Cap, and then he took out Thanos. And then, he did some stuff while John Walker was Captain America. At what point were you following him and his biggest fan?
Yeah, I mean, you can say that now, where you've got dudes in the NBA are like saying, man, I've been watching Anthony Edwards like my whole life. And it's like, he's like 3 years older than you. But no, like, I mean, if you want to get real nerdy about the math, like Joaquin Torres could have been blipped, right? So there's something, or maybe not blipped. Let's do it that way. Like Sam was blipped. Sam was gone for 5 years. So how do we count age when you've been gone for 5 years? Like those 5 years, Sam came back like he was in 2018, and Joaquin Torres grew up in those 5 years. Like we could get really freaking nerdy about it if we really wanted to. But
well, how about we get a positive? Bryan, what's one aspect of a movie that I love?
The music, the score.
Yes, Laura Carpman. I enjoyed her score. It's different. She didn't try to do Alan Silvestri.
It was different.
It kind of reminded me of like Michael Giacchino a little bit at times. So I liked it. She did What If. She did The Marvels. She did a really good movie called American Fiction. I enjoyed the score. Really appreciated that. Had a different sound. Wasn't trying to be the Winter Soldier. Wasn't trying to be Brian Tyler or Hans Zimmer or any of them. So I liked the score a lot. So I was already listening to it on the way home.
Yeah, the score was good. It was a little too prevalent at certain times where I feel like the dialogue wasn't loud enough for how loud the music was.
I think that's because they knew how bad the dialogue was.
The dialogue was tough. There was one scene. It was the scene on the ship when Sam comes and talks to Ross about needing to come clean about the doctor and stuff. And then it cuts to like a camera shot from like Sam's waist up, and you're looking at Harrison Ford, and Anthony Mackie's ADR in that scene was way off. Like it was way off. It was
also really bad when he was talking to him on the raft.
When he was talking to him on the raft, it wasn't good. And the green screen at the cherry blossoms when he was trying to talk down the red hole. Brutal.
That was a reshoot.
That was brutal. Like if we're gonna roast Sony for being bad at this stuff, like ultimately this entire film, half-baked storyline, just doing things to do things, it felt like it was a good Sony Marvel film. It is not a good Marvel Studios film.
I think
I tried to be positive. I really did, but I just don't have a lot of positive things to say.
I think Marvel is in their head right now trying to course correct, and they overcompensated and tried to play it too safe with this one and then made not good Marvel decisions. I think Fantastic Four is going to be them and the new first step, no pun intended, for the Marvel Studios. So,
maybe that's why they called it First Steps.
yeah. I'm glad I saw it. Will I go see it again in theaters? Yeah, I'm gonna catch it again. Um, if you're a Marvel fan and not a big comic or Captain America fan, do I think you'll like it? I think you'll have fun.
If you like the movie and you got to this point in the podcast, thank you. I mean, neither of us knew the opinion that the other had of this movie until we hit the record button. So we weren't sure what to expect. I think, it's clear you liked it more than I did. There was some really cool Captain America stuff. I love the white suit. I wish we had gotten more of it. The helmet looks weird. The Wakandan stuff is really cool. I like that tie-in. Again, I think the adamantium at Celestial Island is really interesting. The world fighting over who gets it is really interesting, and coming to the treaty being the entire plot point was actually really interesting. I want to know who the president is now. Like, I really want to know who the president is now, because I think that's going to be important, even though the president in the grand scheme of all these Avengers MCU films hasn't really mattered. Like, it mattered in Iron Man 2, and it mattered. That's really it. Iron Man 2 is the only time the president really mattered.
Yeah. I hate Secret Invasion, but apparently Harrison Ford took over for him. That guy didn't get reelected.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. See?
Dermot Mulroney. Well, he died.
I would say out of 5, I would give this movie a 3.
Why'd you go out of 5? You always go out of 10. IMDb does it out of 10. That's a 6. I mean, 3 out of 5 is a 6 out of 10.
I just got into Letterboxd and they do 5. I'm sorry. IMDb, I gave it a 6 on IMDb.
It's kind of where I'm at. But I mean, it's not going to be fair to compare it to Captain America 1, 2, or 3. Like, it's just not. It's not playing in the same. It's not even playing in the same universe.
Well, then let's compare it to other 4s. Okay. So you have Thor 4, which is always fun to say. You have 4 Avengers movies. Right? Are those the only 4s?
Probably right now, yeah.
All right. I'm going to rank the 4th Avengers movie first, Endgame, then Captain America Brave New World, then Thor Love and Thunder.
I like Thor Love and Thunder more than this film.
That movie just irritates me so much at times.
I get it. I get it. But Taika's comedy works enough for me that it has a few more redeeming qualities, plus Brett Goldstein. I don't know.
Talk about a wasted cameo.
Harrison Ford was good in this film. I think Harrison Ford would have actually surprised me in this film if it weren't for the existence of shrinking. But the best Harrison Ford scenes were the emotional heartstring stuff that I've seen him do better in the last few months, right? So I think that's part of it too. Like, I cannot believe that there wasn't a Red Hulk scene we hadn't seen. Like, I can't believe
it's all in the previews.
I can't. It's so annoying.
The preview is the movie.
The only thing you didn't get was Japan is fighting America and Captain America's fighting on the side of Japan. Like, that's the only thing you didn't get from the trailer.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Really
I didn't expect a lot going in, so I can't say I'm disappointed or bummed. I think we knew this movie might struggle, but it's going to struggle. There's not going to be a rewatch value. I don't think it's going to perform well financially. $350 million, I think, is its cap. No pun intended.
Jeez. Yeah, I went to a first showing Dolby, and usually there's, people waiting outside to go and all that. There was some empty seats. So,
welcome back to the United We Fan feed. Thank you to Chip and Co., but we are no longer there.
Yes, that does conclude our spoiler-filled and slightly non-spoiler portion of our review of Captain America Brave New World. Bryan, always a pleasure. We thank you, fellow fans, for uniting with us. Bryan, tell our listeners how to stay up to date on everything UWF on the UWF channel.
You can find us on Instagram at United We Fan Podcast, on Facebook at United We Fan the Podcast. Get a hold of myself or Mark anywhere you can. and we'll get you that link over to the Discord. You can come talk spoilers. See what positives we missed about this film. If there was something you really liked, I think Red Hole looked good. We didn't talk about that. The problem is he didn't look any different than he did in the trailer, which we already have dissected many times.
Yep.
So I mean, yeah, come talk to us on the Discord, and we're talking about all different kinds of things. We did a poll the other day of Cool Ranch versus Nacho Cheese Doritos. Which one's better? Cool Ranch won for some reason. The Discord backed us up. Fantasmic as the winner of the best Disney song.
Spoiler. So, yep, UWF. We're on Discord. We will get that link to you. We're wherever you listen to your podcast. Please give us a rate or review on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, wherever it is. We're there. Thank you again. Till we unite again, fans. On your left.
Don't say it. Don't you say it. Left. Come on!